everyone, this is Hannah from Wonderful Woodlands, and today we are going to learn a seated rib stitch. This is one of my all-time favorite stitches, and I use it in a whole bunch of our patterns. You'll definitely see it show up here and there. And so we're going to look at how to do this today. We're going to be learning this in the round because most of our patterns are worked in the round. And before we get started with the pattern, I want to show you these stitches real quick so you understand the pattern after we learn it, because that will help you not make mistakes as you go. So you can see here, I already have a few inches of this worked. This stitch right here is always going to be a knit stitch, as you can see. And this stitch, 2 stitches over, is always going to be a purl stitch. Now to create a seated rib and not a regular stitch, a regular rib stitch, these stitches on either side here are going to alternate knit and purl stitches. So this one's always going to be a knit, this one's always going to be a purl, and these 2 are going to alternate, which is going to create that seated texture for you. So let's go ahead and get started. Our first row that we're going to work is going to be our knit row. So we're going to knit 3 and then we're going to purl 1. So we're going to do this all the way across. So we'll start here. We're going to go knit 1, knit 2, knit 3, and then purl 1. So that means that this pattern is worked across 4 stitches. So you can use any multiple of 4 to create this texture. 1, 2, 3, and purl. 1, 2, 3, and purl. And last one for this needle. 1, 2, 3, and purl. Now, when you're working in the round, you're going to do this. I'm not going to do this all the way to the end of the round. We're going to cut to our next round here, but you're going to finish your round, and then we'll get started on the second part of this stitch. Okay, and to pick it up for round 2, we're going to be starting here our first stitch, this time with a purl stitch. So we're going to go purl 1, then we're going to knit 1, because this is the row that we always knit, and then we're going to purl 2. And we're gonna, that's the end of our set of 4 stitches, so we're gonna purl 1. We're gonna knit 1. And then we're gonna purl 2. And then we'll purl 1 more. We'll knit 1. And we'll purl 2. Last one, purl 1, knit 1, and purl 2. And that is your seated rib stitch. I love the seated rib stitch because it's so stretchy. So when you're making, we primarily do baby hats. So when you're doing something like a baby hat, you'll get a much wider age range, which I think is really helpful because babies grow so quickly. So with a stitch like this, you can, instead of just making a hat that's only going to fit for 2 months, you might get 6 or even 8 months out of it, which is fantastic. So that is your seated rib stitch.